Welcome to Abby Normal Brains, a feel-good podcast following two-time childhood cancer and brain tumor survivor, Abby.
I'm your host and the survivor, Abby. I'm joined by my mom, artist and caregiver, Jill. Together, we will try to uplift your day while bringing you more information on the world of childhood cancer.
On today's show, we'll discuss why is Abby such a positive light and what makes her become one, and how maybe you could become a positive light yourself. We will discuss the ever infamous term, quote unquote, perfect. Also, we'll have fun jokes and tarot readings.
I'm excited for today's episode. Now, here's the show.
So Abby, talking about you being such a positive person, you are constantly spreading your light, like we've said multiple times, and doctors have said, many people have said, they love when you say, have a great day. But what are some of the ways that you spread your positive light in your everyday life? And what are some things that other people could do to help spread positive light in their life?
Well, I just give compliments to my siblings. I say nice things to them. I hug them. I love them. And, I like to treat them nice. I like being nice instead of, mean. I don't like being mean to people. I have a blocker or something that I just can't be mean to people. And when I do, I feel bad about it. So, I just like to be nice.
So there's about 3 things I want to break down out of what you just said. The first one is, you compliment people and you say nice things, and do you just say things just because you're just saying it to say it, or do you actually mean it when you say something nice to someone?
I mean it because it lifts me up saying nice things. Like I said, I don't like to be mean. I don't just like to say it or just say it. I like to be nice. I like to actually spread my positive light and actually give people nice things and say nice things to them.
Well, and not to say too much, you might have got that concept from somewhere, not looking anywhere in this room. But for me, what does it cost a person to genuinely say you see somebody that has some shoes that are cool, or a nice t-shirt, or a hairdo or hair color that you like? What does it cost you to compliment that person and say, I really love your haircut, or that is a nice bag, or oh my gosh, where did you get that shirt? That is really amazing. It costs you nothing, and you've just made the day, or at least that hour, for that person. And you never know what they could be going through on their other end of their life, but you could have just been their bright light. Is that kind of what you're trying to do, Abigail?
That's exactly it. Just the nicest thing could be nice. If you say something mean to a person that's already having a bad day, they're not going to be any better. But if you say something nice, it could change their whole attitude, change their whole look for that day.
Yes, and so that kind of leads me into my second point of what you just said in the beginning of, you give love, you give compliments, you give genuine compliments, you genuinely love your family, when you interact with people, you are genuine. You don't keep, part of your time for them and your brain is already 5 other places, but you are genuinely with that person when you are complimenting them. When you are saying, have a great day, you're not just being like, have a good day as you're rushing off. You're trying to look at the person even if they're rushing off. And you will say, have a great day. You'll even holler it as they're trying to hurry out the room. And that's the thing. Some people won't even have time for your compliment, but you still feel good because you are a nice person, right?
Exactly, sometimes, Dad's grabbing me or you are to go away, and I turn around to, be like, have a great day, and actually, face them while I'm saying it,
That you do, and that's the thing, that's the other thing is, if Abby, who has to portion out her energy in a day because she needs a certain amount of energy to walk, and a certain amount of energy to eat, and a certain amount of energy just to do the fun things she wants to do, never mind if she's got to go out to an appointment, you portion out even some energy for other people to give them some positive wishes, which, is something you don't have to do, but you choose to do it. And if you can do that, how hard is it for any of us else to do that? Kind of reminds me of that podcast we were actually listening to yesterday with Glenn and Doyle, where she was talking, they made the point of how much energy we actually give to strangers, which is also a very valid point. And this is where I say, maybe we should balance. Maybe we should give compliments with genuinity, or be genuine about giving compliments, but also don't give more of yourself than that person's willing to accept. If they are running away, then don't give anything more. Don't go chase them. And if they are also someone that's taking more than you're willing to give, then you need to cut that off too. And I'm kind of getting into a tangent here on my own, but ultimately, all this is trying to say is just be genuine with how you feel and towards people. Don't pull their legs just so that you can be a people pleaser or get compliments, right, Abby?
Exactly. Like, don't just say something just so, you please them or make them happy about something you did or said, so then they like you more. Just do it. Be nice. Don't have any other meaning.
And is that what you do? Are you nice to people just so everybody likes you, or are you just nice because you're a nice person?
I'm just nice because I'm a nice person. I may not know them. I may only see them briefly. But still, I like to give nice compliments because that's who I am. And that's how I like to say things to people, because I am nice.
And that is the perfect segue into my third point of what you originally said, which the last part was saying how you genuinely like being nice. What is the point of being mean or rude to one another? What does anybody gain by treating each other badly, giving each other bad words, doing bad actions? What is that? Do you have any thoughts on that?
It's just plain rude. I don't know if rude is the word, but it's just not nice to put each other down just to raise you up. It's not a good feeling for either of you, really. It may help make you feel good in the moment, but it's never really a good thing.
You saying that reminded me of what you were taught when you were starting in kindergarten and in primary school. And I think this is kind of a concept that we actually even carried over in our house, which was the bucket fillers and the bucket emptiers, or the bucket dumpers, or whatever. And the concept behind that was what, Abby? Do you remember the bucket fillers?
You give someone a compliment, you fill their bucket, or
can I stop you right there? Your bucket is you, correct?
Yes.
Your bucket is you and your emotions. And you can start your day with half a bucket full or whatever, about the midway point, like we all start. And then you run into your first set of people, okay? And what can these people do to you?
They can empty your bucket or fill your bucket up with more of, compliments or anything. Make you feel more happy, fill it up more.
Exactly. So basically in life, do you choose to be a bucket filler or a bucket emptier? Do you choose to say one nice thing that doesn't cost you a dime to help give somebody else's bucket a boost? Or do you come along and kick that bucket over for no good reason other than you want to feel better about yourself? To be a positive, nice person, and I'm not talking, false positivity or toxic positivity where, you're in a burning room and you're like, this is fine. Because we've been in that burning room and it wasn't fine. And it was okay to cry. And it was okay to be upset. And it was okay to feel your feelings. But you don't have to spread your hate. You don't have to spread your negativity. And honestly, I don't know about you. Yeah, sure, I can feel anger, but I feel like it's easier to give out positivity than it is to give out negativity. And after you give out negativity, how do you feel inside, Abby?
I feel terrible inside, and when I share positivity, I just feel good inside. It's easier for me to let it out than negative. Like, I just can't physically do negative most of the time because it hurts me so much that I can't do that.
That is the truth. And I think all of us feel that to an aspect, but you really will, break down crying. You'll have a stomach ache. You turn into a mess if you have to. And unfortunately, this is where one of the things we need to work on. Sometimes you feel like that when you stand up for yourself, and you need to do better about that, because it is okay to advocate for yourself, but it is not okay to treat other people badly to make yourself feel better. That's a pretty clear line. So then the very opposite of that is to maybe just give a compliment or say something nice. Hope you have a great day. You don't even have to ask a person a question, do you? You can literally make a statement of what?
Have a great day, or just something nice, like, oh, you look amazing today. I like your shoes. I like your hat. Just something nice. Just one sentence.
And I think, honestly, to kind of wrap up what our thoughts are on this positive, I think overall, to appear positive or to be positive or to look like you are positive, like I guess, is to more just to connect to the human. Connect on a human level with somebody and just let them know, I see you. I care about you. You matter even if you're only in my life for 5 minutes because you were here. Do you agree with that?
I definitely agree with that. Like, I was nodding my head the whole time. Like, that is something that I can definitely agree with and will definitely say that is the truth.
And I think that's the number one reason why you're positive is because you're acknowledging and you've been unseen so many times that you're just letting other people know, I see you, I'm here. Let's keep making things better.
Exactly that. That's exactly how I feel, Mom. That I definitely 100% agree.
Well, good. And I hope everybody else has found something valuable through this talk on how to be positive and not feel fake about it or not, just do it. It doesn't hurt just to give out a little bit of niceness every once in a while.
Why did the fly go on the web? Because it wanted to go online.
Hello, everyone. So Abby and I actually were sitting here talking, doing some other recording work, and Abby had one of her Abby moments. And I would say that this is different than the delirium trigger or the delirium we were talking about, but this is more the emotional, the trauma-induced moments. The moments where Abby does not feel that Abby can do something, even though Abby literally just did the thing. Right, Abby?
Exactly. Like, at first I was screwing up, and then afterwards it was perfect.
Here, let's stop. I'll stop you right there. Instead of just saying you screwed up, what were we doing? Or you can why don't you tell everybody what it was that you were doing and then what made you so upset? Tell us the story.
I was working on the outro, trying to saying this stuff like, thank you for listening to the Abby Normal Brain podcast. Have a great day. But I was screwing it up over and over until I cried, and then I got it perfect.
Except the thing is what is perfect?
Yeah, that's it, but it sounded good to me, so I liked it.
Well, let me remind you, what's it? Perfect is what? Perfect doesn't exist, does it?
Yeah.
No. Your perfect here was where you were writing yourself hard. But this is kind of some of the after psychological effects of having a traumatic brain injury with your brain tumor to that you were, and this is why we call this Abby Normal, because if no one ever knew that our podcast is actually Abby's Facebook team, Team Abby Normal, is named after what movie, Abby?
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein. If everybody has seen that or ever seen that, the part where Gene Wilder is saying to the Igor character, what kind of brain did I put in my monster? And Igor's like,
Abby someone. Abby Normal.
And we now have an Abby Normal brain in our creation. That's why oftentimes you'll see us mimic that, liken that, do art like that, just because that is one of our fallbacks. It's been a long-running joke. Actually, before she had even gotten sick, we used to call her Abby Normal. Didn't we, Abby?
We did.
And so when she was in the hospital, first diagnosed, it actually just felt really natural, like a thing we needed to name you. And so as things have progressed, it actually has been so true, which is why we just keep calling you Abby Normal, because there is no concept of normal, but we have Abby's normal. Abby's, whatever the normal is for Abby now, that's Abby's normal. So.
Exactly. It works perfectly. Like, who knew a nickname would come to life?
I mean, it works. So part of Abby's normal is that sometimes that injury, she will think about normal before the injury. Your previous normal, or like everybody else's normal, your lack of disabilities, your before cancer took different things or changed different things in your life. Sometimes, some days, that hits harder than others. Because for Abby, she knows that her brain's missing pieces. She doesn't know what pieces are missing until somebody points it out to her, but she knows they're missing pieces. And she also knows that those pieces used to not be missing. And sometimes when she makes mistakes, she gets mad at herself because those pieces used to be there and now they're not, and now she's got to figure out a new way. Am I on the point with that one?
You are pretty much there. I'm beating myself up for no reason, and then I get upset at myself for doing that, and I just cry it all out.
I was going to say, am I reading right? Like, you're getting a little pink cheeky, like you're about ready to cry, like, oh my God, she's saying exactly how I'm feeling again.
It's kind of happy pink cheeky.
Well, good. But the thing is, it's okay. It's all right. All kinds of people have injuries that make them different after. We know people that have had to have things amputated. Think of the ever famous Gary Busey. He had a motorcycle accident where he was a, handsome actor before, then after, he even had a traumatic brain injury, and he's often referred to as a little nutty, which he leans into. He is a little goofy, which sometimes, you get it. You're a little goofy too. Sometimes you can't control what your brain's going to do, but the more you understand about it, the more you can understand why. So, I know that when Abby starts messing up, I can see it all over her face. She's beating herself up on the inside. Like the old Abby, how we all have that voice of perfection in our head that tells us, do this right, do this right. Actually, I don't know. Does everybody have that in their head? I know I do because I'm a perfectionist. So, what about you?
Yeah, I have it every now and again. Like, oh, you screwed that up. You gotta redo that. Or why'd you do that?
Exactly. I mean, and I think I have a tendency to think all of us have that. Except Abby's perfectionist is still the perfectionist from before Abby had injuries. And now, not only is this perfectionist saying you screwed this up, but you're never, ever going to be able to do this right again. Tell me I'm wrong, Abby.
Not really.
Okay. So, basically, from that point then, when I know Abby starts getting down on herself, I have to pick her up from the bottom. And like, in case today, she just couldn't get out a simple line. She just couldn't get it out the way she wanted to, the way she needed to. And part of that, I think, was also she had some other self-conscious things in her brain. She wasn't sure if she could do this, if this is going to be right. All of us have a tendency to beat ourselves up. And that's what's going to stop us every time. But like I was just telling Abby, I have a tendency, I've had a lot of people throughout my life tell me that I can't do this or I can't do that. Be it I'm a girl or I'm too fat or I don't have this ability or I'm not talented or I didn't go to school for this or... Except the thing is I had always been kind of the mind that if you say that I can't, then my brain just goes, well, watch me. Watch me do it. Which is why I'm trying to be an artist right now. I mean, that's a big watch me for me right now. If there's something I want to do, I just do it. And if I can't, then I find the ways to figure out how to do it. And I understand not everybody's built like that. But you have to take a little bit of that mentality for yourself. And say, you know what? Someone says I can't do this, then I'm going to try. And yeah, sometimes you might get to a conclusion where, well, maybe this is something I can't do. But if it's something you enjoy, if it's something you love, then give it your all. What are you going to lose, Abby? If this podcast and motivating people is something you love, what are you going to lose if you give it your all?
Well, now you're getting me all teary-eyed. That was a very good speech there. That really inspired me. Man, that's... Wow.
Well, I know you're supposed to be the motivational speaker here, but, sometimes mom's got to insert her opinion just because sometimes, like you motivate me, I have to motivate you. And sometimes I get that it might motivate other people that, what are you going to lose? The worst that can happen, you get told no, you get rejected. But then you know what? What happens? What's mom's thing she tells you to do every time you get rejected or told no or something happens? What are you supposed to do with that situation, Abby?
You learn from that situation.
That is absolutely correct. You take the lesson. You learn why didn't this work out, or what did I do wrong, or how could I fix this, or how could I make this better later, or how, you always take nuggets. You're always growing and learning. You never stop. You don't hit adulthood and then, oh, I'm out of school. I've graduated high school. I'm done learning. The end. No. In fact, the thing I tell my kids too, Abby, you can vouch for this one too. Learn something new every day. Be it the smallest or the biggest fact. Learn something new every day so you're constantly using your brain and stretching your mind. And I know that you do this, Abby. You're always... So what would you say, like, is that a good concept, like, with your recovery and things like that as you've been going through after your tumor and stuff?
I like that concept a lot. To learn something new, try something new, do something, because that sounds really fun, and you'll do more to your life to where you feel like, you've done something instead of just, done nothing.
Well, and on that concept, just after your brain tumors, after you're not your perfection normal anymore, you have still got on stage and wrote a song, sang with a band. You've taught yourself how to make bracelets with beads and with string and different kind of string bracelets. You're doing a podcast. You've gotten into writing. You've done math and English and science and all that in homeschool. I know I'm like, my brain's starting to putter out because I'm like, I love the duct tape art that you've been doing, the teaching yourself how to balance better, actually now you're doing the exercises to help yourself get up and down easier from the floor, which helped with that fall that you had this morning. So think of all the things you've already taught yourself, and that's just in like a 4-year period.
Exactly. Like after I fell this morning, I got readjusted myself and got right up after I fell.
Exactly. And you wouldn't have been able to do that had you not been doing those exercises, pulling yourself up on the tables and stuff like that. So every day, every little thing that you do, moving towards whatever goal it is, like for you, the podcast, I know that's the big goal, which is why you were upset with yourself when you messed up. But every little step that you make towards that goal is one step closer.
Aw, thank you, inspirational mother.
So I feel like I've talked most of this podcast. I hope this has inspired you. But I hope also this lets everyone know, if we have other childhood cancer survivors that are listening, that this is okay. It's all right to have times where you beat yourself up because you're not the way you were. But also don't hold on to that. All of us change. Everyone changes over time. I am different than where I was 5, 10, 15 years ago myself. And I'm on different paths each time. All of us change, and that's all right. Hey all, the Psychotic Psychic here. Either I'm right or I'm crazy with your 13th card tarot reading from the Goddess Tarot deck. This is where I take the 13th card from the tarot deck and give you your outlook for the week. And today we have drawn the Princess of Staves. This means the ability to create beauty that is useful, like Freya, when Freya is the goddess of Norse mythology of like fire and home. Energy, integrity, creativity, initiative, new ideas or ventures to be acted upon immediately. A young woman who inspires others to live this mission. And I can't help but feel a little bit of personal pull on this one myself because, I've been working on creative fronts. I am with Abby with this podcast. And I don't feel like I'm the only one that's trying my hand at these creative ventures and these things that we all want to see come through into fruition, we all want better in this world. We all want a better life. We're all ready to start putting in that groundwork. And so I drew the 14th card to see what else this reading tells us. And I got the 4 of Staves reversed, which means the desire to put down roots, but elusiveness in doing so. Wanting stability, frustration at home, which follows in exactly what I was saying. And that we are wanting to put down roots, but we're finding blocks, we're finding frustrations, and so we need to use our creative ways to get out of this situation. This has been your Psychotic Psychic with your 13th card tarot reading. So I hope everyone has learned a couple of tips on how to be a positive light. Right, Abby?
I agree. I hope you found you can just compliment someone or say something nice to them to uplift their day.
That's absolutely it. It's not that hard to be a positive light in somebody's life. And the other thing is you don't even have to be perfect when you're being a positive light, as long as you're being you.
Your perfect should be someone that makes you happy, not someone else happy.
That is absolutely it. You are the master of your destiny. You are the one that controls if you're going to be happy if something's perfect or good enough for you. And honestly, as long as it's good enough for you, then what is perfect anyway? And also, I just have to say thank you to all of our listeners and everyone that keeps joining the Abby Normal Brains team here. We cannot believe how great that our podcast is already going and being shared and everything.
Thank you for listening to the Abby Normal Brains podcast. Have a great day!